new vacation with Norwegian Cruise Line, every day is a new day. Get a taste for Barcelona, then savor incredible dining back on board one day. Connect to ancient history in Athens, and then disconnect in our spa another day. Wherever the sea breeze takes you, come aboard and experience a different tomorrow with Norwegian. Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor, or 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. Norwegian Cruise Line. Ships registry the Bahamas and USA.
The rest of my life gon' start today.
Have you ever wanted to be a guest on These Are Their Stories?
Tell us your favorite detective team.
Spot the Hey, It's That Guy.
Enter the These Are Your Stories contest.
One lucky listener will be chosen to join us and review a show from TV's most enduring crime franchise.
And talk about the real-life story that inspired the show.
Go now to lawandorderpodcast.com.
Fill out the questionnaire and tell us why you should be our very special guest star.
You have a Raphael Barba tattoo?
Do you write Van Buren fan fiction?
Did Ice-T cut you in line at Whole Foods?
We'll pick an extra special episode just for you.
Enter now for your chance to be part of our elite squad.
See our website for details.
No purchase necessary. We don't actually sell shit.
Sign up now for the These Are Your Stories contest.
And if you tell us you love Amaro, you're dead to us.
For exclusive podcasts and more, sign up at patreon.com/partnersincrimemedia.
This week's Law & Order Marathon winner is Erica Singleman of Chevy Chase, Maryland. Erica will get a marathon decal showing she watched 26.2 hours of her favorite crime show. To be next week's winner, sign up at lawandorderpodcast.com.
I'm Kevin Flynn with Rebecca Lavoie and Alexis Linkletter. And these are their... there it goes.
Oh my God, you're so proud.
Yeah. And these are their...
Peter Brady.
And these are their stories.
You think you know who did it, but you don't know who did it. Law and order, law and order, law and order. It's no ordinary police procedural, baby. It's the FNOG of police procedurals, baby. Law and order, law and order, law and order, law and order. These are their stories, these are their stories.
Welcome to These Are Their Stories, the podcast about network TV's most enduring crime franchise and the real-life cases that inspired their shows. I'm Kevin Flynn. Each podcast will break down an episode from either Criminal Intent, SVU, or Original Recipe, and today we're looking at Special Victims Unit, Season 4, Episode 6, Angels.
Now it's a ring of pedophiles.
How many of these sick bastards raped that kid?
Better find them fast. God knows how many other boys they're passing around.
Joining me to do just that is true crime author and the host of Crime Writers On and Netflix's You Can't Make This Up podcast. It's Rebecca Lavoie. Hello, Rebecca.
Thanks for having me on the show, Kevin.
Rounding out our panel is our special guest from Unraveled and the First Degree podcasts. It's Alexis Linkletter. Hello, Alexis.
Hello. Thank you, too, for having me on.
No, thank you for coming on. I have to ask, how much did growing up with SVU on television influence your decision to pursue true crime?
It definitely did. I used to watch it with my mom all the time. You know, we would just fall asleep watching it, and she's an attorney, so we were very invested in the outcomes, and it's, you know, big part, I'd say.
Was she the kind of person that would point out all the ridiculous things that would never happen and ruin it for you?
Oh, yeah, she's a big know-it-all.
Well, so am I. I'd probably like her a lot.
Yeah, totally.
Well, you know, a big part of your true crime career on screen and in podcasting has to do with the Long Island serial killer. You've been doing it long before there was an arrest, but now it seems like this case is like finally coming to its final act. And do you need like a sense of professional closure? Like, in a way, this is the focus of your life's work, and it's coming to a conclusion. Are you like grappling with that?
I am grappling with it because I think it was the highlight of my entire life and like my career. And it's the most excited and interested I've ever been in anything in my entire life. So I think I'm grappling with what comes next. And I think just the entire saga also spanned my personal life and all these tribulations with that. So yeah, I'm definitely reconciling with like who I'm going to be. Not that it has any, it's not about me, but my relationship with the case for sure.
Yeah, well, I want you to know, because I care, what I'm going to do is pay someone to start serial killing again on Long Island because you have the infrastructure already built in, and I want you to stay busy.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, Long Island's a weird place. I'm sure there's already someone gearing up, sadly. You know, we've had strange serial killers there for decades and decades.
Alexis, of all the franchises, which two cops are your favorite Law & Order detective team?
Favorite Law and Order detective team?
Stabler and Benson.
Yeah, classic pick.
I mean, just classic. But I like them apart, too. You know, like I like them apart. Stabler can be a little edgy, like especially when he's not with Kathy. Like he really comes out of his shell and gets this edge that I really like. But Benson and Stabler, I love them.
And who is your favorite prosecutorial team?
Favorite Law and Order District Attorney Prosecutorial Team.
Barba's my favorite.
Yeah.
And, Barba just means beard. So I'm just like, the beard's coming. He's coming.
Really? I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah. The beard's coming to sweep up and take care of business.
Nice.
Oh, my God. All those Bar-Reese's are like, can't you see? It's in the name.
It has a whole new meaning now. A whole new meaning.
All right, now let's take a look at the first half of this episode. SVU Season 4, Episode 6, Angels. Just a reminder, we're going to be talking about fictional detectives investigating fictional sex crimes against fictional children. So if you still find that especially heinous, you may want to listen to another one of our episodes.
Yes, Kevin, do you want to repeat that again? Because I just want to make it very clear.
People are going to hate us for this, absolutely. Alexis's mom's going to be like, what did you get into?
Yeah. I watched it yesterday and I was like, ooh, we're going for it.
Yeah.
We're going for it.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
do
one
it.
of those.
So as if getting in and out of JFK isn't bad enough, travelers discover the body of a young boy in the luggage bay on a bus.
Cherry red lips, discoloration under his fingernails, probably carbon monoxide poisoning.
Where's the sex crime?
Found blood and fluids in his underwear. He also has a 2-inch laceration on his left arm and fresh bruising on his chest and back.
Somebody kicked the crap out of this kid.
Security video captured the victim and another boy sneaking into the bus yard. Warner tells Benson and Stabler that the kid was covered with bruises and had anal sutures, but he also had $10,000 in dental work because you got to keep it tight.
Oh, God.
Why are you laughing at that? The squad finds his companion hiding at the airport. Ernesto says he and Jose were brought to the U.S. from Guatemala by some charity and given to a man named Brett Jansen. He kept the boys locked up, made them call him dad, and had sex with them. Munch and Finn learn Jansen is a high-end attorney. When the squad searches his apartment, they find it's heavily locked and soundproofed, and they also find Jansen dead in his bedroom, his throat slashed, and his balls cut off. Ernesto says they escaped the apartment before the murder because Jansen was about to pass them around to his pedophile friends. They find fake adoption papers for the boys and a video Jansen made in Central America with the boy alongside a man only identifiable by his tattoos. The dentist, Walt Macy, says Jansen couldn't stop talking about his adopted sons, but Jansen's secretary says she didn't even know that he had a family. Squash partners Dr. Stuart Lynch and travel agent Tony Damon said that Jansen had a bad temper, but didn't talk about having kids. Melinda tells Olivia and Elliot that the knife work done on Jansen was done with surgical precision by someone with medical training. Ernesto identifies a photo of Dr. Lynch as the doctor who came to take care of them. All right, they start off by finding Jose in the empty cargo space beneath the bus. And the bus had been stuck in traffic for about 20 minutes, which is more than enough time to die by carbon monoxide poisoning. And this woman comes out and identifies herself as a nurse who rushes to help the bus driver.
Barely breathing, no pulse.
Can anyone help with CPR?
Can anyone help with CPR? Yeah, the nurse who is right there already giving first aid.
Yeah. It's a pretty weird, opening for this whole thing.
Yeah, he's just like, can I get a man, please?
Yeah, nobody believes women can do anything. Except there's one amazing thing that a woman can do here.
What?
Melinda Warner can somehow discern that there's fluids inside these child's clothes when these child's clothes are still on. Did anyone else catch that? She's like, there's tearing, there's fluids inside of his underwear. Meanwhile, the kid's wearing a belt. He's wearing jeans.
She's pointing to his body out the clothes. I saw that part. And another thing I saw, which this was even before we get to the bus, is Stabler flirting with the Queens detective.
Yeah.
And you invited me out here to Queens because...
I've been waiting for you to ask me that for 8 months.
Since we stuck you with that dead hooker, is this payback, Katie?
Bus came straight from the yard in Manhattan. No stops, no pickups. This poor kid was assaulted on your turf, so it's all yours.
She's like, you were supposed to ask me out. And he's like, are you punishing me because I stuck you with a dead hooker last week or something? And they have this odd exchange. And I'm like, he's not with Kathy, so this is going to be a wild ride. You know, whenever he's away from Kathy,
Yeah.
he just is a rabid animal.
Yes.
But I'm still stuck on this nurse that
Yeah.
Yeah,
not
the
getting
nurse,
any
sorry.
respect.
Yes.
Right? It's like, a man would be there. He'd be like, but actually, you need to tilt the back of the head for
Yes.
better mouth to mouth,
Yes.
you know?
Totally.
Meanwhile, someone should just be dialing 911.
But you need a man to do that too. A woman would mess that up
That's
as
true.
well.
That's
right?
true. We might go 912, 811.
Yeah.
We don't know.
It's hard to remember those numbers for our lady brains.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, kid would have survived if it was a dude. So I'm just...
Hey,
Probably.
now.
Well, they've got a security video of the kids like breaking into this bus depot, and the dispatcher tells them that they have cameras because the insurance company made them get them. But they didn't make them repair the 3-foot-tall hole in the fence. That was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, they do have the camera pointing right at the hole in the fence, so they are aware it's an issue.
Right.
Right, so where should we set it up? How about there? How about that giant mouse hole? Yeah, perfect, in case anything happens. And what are they doing with the video? They're just even watching it like, oh, okay. It's like a nature camera. Here comes somebody.
Well, they say that like they have a problem with people coming in, like homeless people and so forth.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing the problem is that people are coming in to sleep inside the luggage areas and the buses because it doesn't need to be their first time. Nobody ever checks those before they leave in the morning with the buses.
Can
This
you
isn't
lock
like
those?
Should lock them, yeah.
It's not like standard procedure. I mean, they check every single piece of an airplane before they even like drive it out of the little airplane garage. I mean, this should be standard by this point, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bus ride to JFK should be the most dangerous part of your travel endeavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the question about that autopsy, though, anyone find it weird that Warner said that the rape kit is back and then say, I just found sutures in the anus? How could you have done the rape kit and just be finding this out now?
Right.
The same
I mean,
way.
did you do the rape kit with your eyes closed?
Kevin,
What?
there was a forensic odontologist standing right behind her.
Detective Stabler and Benson, this is our forensic odontologist, Dr. Noah Kamen.
So how much we talking for this dental work?
Smooth invisible braces, an implant where no permanent tooth grew in. I'd say we're looking at 10 grand total.
There are so many weird things about all of the scenes in this show. She just turns around and she's like, hello, everyone. May I present the forensic odontology specialist who just happens to be standing right here.
Right here, right now.
This is the kind of thing that would have taken like weeks to get back. Like in other episodes, it would have been like, we're waiting for this report. No, he's just right here. This is the strangest in terms of timing episode. Like things just happen at randomly fast paces, scenes cut in the middle. Like it is a very, very strangely paced episode.
But Alexa, I'm just saying, maybe it wasn't the mouth they should have been focusing on so much.
Maybe not. But this is a thing they do in a lot of SVU episodes. They always go to the mouth. They'll be like, ooh, it was a sex worker and look at her terrible nails, but she had expensive orthodontia. Like Warner goes there a lot.
Yeah, well, they got to keep
She's in the teeth.
Noah, whatever his name is, they got to keep him busy.
That's true.
Check out these fillings.
Aren't you guys wondering what's in your mouth that might have a serial number? I am certainly, I've never thought about that before. And now I'm like, what's in my body that someone could trace with a serial number?
I got a couple of things.
Yeah?
A couple things. So Elliot has to go all the way back to JFK because they've spotted the other kid. So they chase him, and he runs on the luggage carousel, and then he goes into the hole in the wall.
Always wanted to do that.
And Elliot asks, what's back there? The rest of the luggage. Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't like go into the void or something.
It goes to the tarmac.
Yeah. Have you never flown anywhere, Elliot? Like, if it goes back in there, it eventually will come back around.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why your luggage comes out of that wet, right?
Why? What?
It's not because it's like, I mean, that one in luggage, the one where you pick up your luggage actually does come from outside, but there is definitely like a return thing in there. But they are throwing the shit on there from outside.
JFK luggage comes in wet.
Yeah.
Not all luggage, but like it's moist in New York most of the time.
Even on a sunny day.
But haven't you, isn't it like every kid's fantasy to climb in through those little car wash plasticky things?
See what's back there?
That kid lived every child's fantasy and every adult's post 9/11 fantasy in that scene. It was incredible.
Definitely.
But if you wanted to know what was back there, couldn't he just, like, go through himself? It wasn't a tiny mouse hole. It was the same square thing, like, you know.
A German Shepherd fit through, for God's sakes.
Man, if the luggage fits through there.
Golf clubs fit through.
It wasn't like the carry-on hold or something like that. Just look back there. All right, we get to see somebody before they were famous.
Before they were famous.
Who was playing travel agent Tony Damon?
That was Lego Batman Will Arnett.
Will Arnett, yes.
We work with an orphanage, 5-year-olds on up. Plus, you get a videotape so you can cherish the memory.
Don't you like it that I refer to him as Lego Batman and not like the million other things that he's done?
Yeah, you mean the 7-time Emmy nominee?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lego Batman, BoJack Horseman, and he appeared in Up All Night, Running Wild, just to name a few. He married his on-screen wife from Arrested Development, Amy Poehler.
I love that.
He met actress Penelope Ann Miller in 1994. They got married 1 month later and got divorced 1 month after that, and nobody blinks.
Huh.
Yikes.
He is an in-demand voice actor. He is the voice of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. He has been the voice of GMC trucks since 1998.
Wow.
That's a long, steady gig.
Money. He probably makes real money doing that.
Yeah.
Well, I think where he makes the money is in his other gig where he is the voice of Lamisil.
The medication?
Yeah.
Really?
What does that do?
Well, Big Pharma, they have money. That makes sense.
Yeah, it treats fungus.
Nice.
You can't let that jock itch money go, right?
No.
It's on the. You don't want to leave it on the table.
Yeah, he is like a shockingly, and I don't mean this to like come off as like super heteronormative, but he's like a shockingly unsquare jawed guy to have such square jawed voiceover roles, right?
Yeah.
GM trucks, Lego Batman,
BoJack Horseman.
Yeah.
How about that one?
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of that show, and I hadn't even connected those dots. Like I saw his name in the credits, but I just didn't think about it.
His pandemic passion project is the podcast Smartless with Jason Bateman and Sean Hayes. It remains one of the biggest podcast shows in the business, as the three of us would attest to. After less than 1 year, Amazon and Wondery spent $80 million for the exclusive rights to Smartless. But
what?
Not the exclusive rights. They didn't wall it off. It's just that they got it exclusive for 2 weeks before the rest of the world.
What a deal.
Yeah.
$80 million?
Yeah. It's not even like Joe Rogan or like Howard Stern where you have to get the subscription. It's the only way to hear it.
So stupid.
Yeah.
They're not making that money back.
No.
There's no way.
No, they're leaning into the people are impatient business model.
No, there's plenty to listen to for the 2 weeks before that shit comes out. These companies are
like
so
the previous
stupid.
2 weeks episode.
Exactly.
Wow, that's stunning.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
I know.
Such a waste of money.
There's a Hey, It's That Guy.
There is.
Hey, it's that guy.
Yeah, who is the actor playing that forensic odontologist?
True, but the implant's custom made, so the manufacturer's ID will be on it. We'll pull the fake tooth. The lab who made it can tell us which dentist ordered it.
Well, that's Glenn Flesher, 8 Law & Order Universe appearances. He's been in Damages, Boardwalk Empire, For Life, Barry, Billions, and The Thing About Pam. He was the Russ. He was the guy who got set up and wrongfully convicted, took the fall for Pam.
Huh.
Remember that guy?
Oh, yeah.
He was also the Yellow King in season 1 of True Detective.
Oh.
The serial killer from the season 1.
The lawnmower guy?
Yeah, lawnmower guy.
Spoiler alert.
It was the best season.
It was the best. I got to say, the season 4 started off strong.
Do you start the new one?
Yeah.
I know. I loved the new one, too.
Yeah, Ep 1 was pretty strong.
Starting out strong. It's my favorite episode of The X-Files.
Yep.
So, like I said, he played Russ Faria in The Thing About Pam. The veteran actor said that he loved hating Renee Zellweger. And so do we, Glenn.
Oh.
So do we.
Oh.
What? Are you like, you're all of a sudden a Zellweger fan?
Well.
I liked her in that role.
Yeah, I liked her in that role, too. But here's the thing.
You can talk about the fat suit.
No, that's not what I was going to talk about.
Okay.
Never mind.
So, did anyone recognize who's playing Dr. Stuart Lynch?
No.
Have you ever mentioned having children?
Well, the only kids we ever talked about were mine. I could brag about them all day.
That is Patrick Cassidy, son of Mrs. Partridge Shirley Jones and brother to Sean Cassidy.
What?
And half-brother of David Cassidy.
Shut up.
Wow.
No.
He's a Nepo baby.
Wait.
Total Nepo baby.
David Cassidy's actually related to Shirley Jones?
Yeah, Shirley Jones is the mom. Yeah, so like did you ever watch the Partridge Family, Alexis?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think they were related in real life.
David Cassidy and Shirley Jones are related. Yes.
In real life?
In real life, yeah. They're real mom and... You didn't know that?
No.
I didn't know that.
You keep learning
They
so
don't
much.
no one told me.
I thought they were just TV mother and son.
No. You're thinking of Greg and Mrs. Brady.
I don't think that's common knowledge.
It is. Well, I guess
I didn't
not
know.
with you guys, but
Also, I'm not 100 years old, so that helps.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Patrick Cassidy. He played Johnny Castle in Dirty Dancing, the TV series.
So Johnny was the one who impregnated Penny, right, in the movie?
Yeah, well, this was the Patrick Swayze role.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He took that on for this TV show. Do you know who played Baby in the TV show?
Who?
It was Melora Hardin. She's Jan from The Office.
Oh, okay.
She's younger. Yeah. So Patrick Cassidy, he was the quarterback at the Hollywood High, and he wanted to be a professional football player, but he broke his collarbone and decided I'll give acting a try, and somehow he made it.
I wonder how.
That Nepo baby.
Yeah, against the odds.
Tell us again how kids say the darndest things, Alexis Linklater.
They do. They do.
They do.
Say the darndest things. I know, and here, yeah.
Can you tell me the name of the actor who was playing the dentist, Walt Massey?
How well did you know Brett Jensen?
Not well at all, but I admired him for adopting 2 boys from a foreign country. He seemed like a really caring father.
That gentleman is Michael Hayden, acclaimed stage actor. He was defense attorney Chris Doknovich in ABC's Murder 1. This was a great show. I don't know if any of you remember this on ABC. It was for 2 seasons. This came out right after OJ. The premise was it would follow one murder case for the entire season, and it won 3 Emmy Awards over the 2 seasons, and it didn't go anywhere. It really launched the career of the bad guy, Stanley Tucci.
Oh, wow.
He played the scariest fucking rich guy who says he didn't kill the person, but maybe he did kill her. He was just crazy good in that. Growing up, Michael wasn't interested in acting. He was the quarterback on his high school team until he hurt his shoulder. And what the fuck is it with quarterbacks and acting?
They love attention.
They love attention. They want to be the center of attention. Do you know who's playing that little Ernesto?
No.
No, but I did know it. I was like, what a classically handsome young man.
Yeah.
I was like, what a cutie.
I yelled, called him a pig. I told him to leave Jose alone. Then he came in, pulled me out of bed.
That's Pablo Santos. I gotta say, he died in a plane crash at age 19 outside of Mexico City in 2006.
That's awful.
Horrible.
Why do so many people die in plane crashes? I'm just like, a lot of actors. It's all.
Yeah.
I bet it was a small plane.
It was
planes,
a small
no, thank
plane.
you.
Yeah, he was up, I guess, with like 6 of his friends. One of his friends, I think, also died, and then 4 survived or something like that. He was, it was very
terrible.
sad. Pablo was the lead in the WB comedy series Greetings from Tucson. It was about a Latino family rising to the middle class. It got a 1-star review on IMDb. Rebecca, will you please read the review?
Sure. That 15-year-old David Tiant character is too poorly made. That actor Pablo Santos is a 15-year-old actor with a permanent 11-year-old personality that cannot match with that 15-year-old David Tiant role enough. Of course, he will have a hard time acting that way when his personality cannot match his given role, and that led to his failed survival in that plane crash afterwards. Oh my God!
Rebecca!
Oh my God!
I didn't think you could victim blame plane crash victims.
Oh my
That's
God!
something, right?
They've done it.
Who wrote that?
I had somebody anonymous on IMDb.
Are you gonna like cut out that piece of audio and then just like tweet me saying that?
That was a real Michael Che moment there.
I don't like when you can give reviews anonymously. I think that's people take advantage. Like any negative review I've ever had, I'm like, of course, no one will say it to my face.
Thank you. Phil 41756.
Yeah.
I appreciate your criticism of my laughter. Really
All of
appreciate it.
Whatever. They'll criticize anything. And I'm like, show me your face.
That's right.
Coward.
That's right.
Who's going to victim blame a plane crash victim? That's a crazy thing to do.
I know.
No, and not even like, well, he shouldn't have been flying. It was just that he was a really bad actor, and
that's why I didn't
we
survive.
shouldn't be sad.
He can't act his way out of a crashing plane.
Crashing plane.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep. All right.
Wow.
Thanks, America.
May he rest.
Wow.
Well, this is a beautiful tribute to him this episode then.
Oh, yeah. He does a great job acting in this. They actually have a couple of good child actors. How about the one who's playing Ramon, who is Dr. Lynch's oldest adopted son?
Qui vive aquí, Juan?
Mi papá y nosotros, solamente.
Yeah, that actor is Felipe Diepa. He was the original Diego on Dora the Explorer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I recognized him from that. He looks just like Diego.
He looks just like Diego, right?
You know, the drawn character
Totally.
of Diego. Yeah.
He did the first 8 episodes as Diego, and then that fucker Gabriel Alvarez came along. The Sammy Hagar of Dora the Explorer.
Yeah.
Only if Gabriel hadn't hurt his shoulder playing quarterback, it could still be Felipe's role.
Totally.
So did anyone recognize the bus dispatcher?
I totally did.
Give it
You
to me.
did?
No, of course I
Okay,
did.
I was like, I didn't recognize anyone.
No,
anyone.
I only recognized Will Arnett because he's Will Arnett, but that was it.
Okay, that's Bo Caprell.
Any chance the kid could have sneaked on before it came back here?
We would have found him. Driver stays behind to check every compartment, all the seats, see if anything was left.
He played Laverne's boyfriend, Officer Norm Hughes, on Laverne and Shirley.
Oh.
And he was primarily a writer in his career. He worked on things like Welcome Back, Kotter, Carol Burnett. He wrote the pilot episode for Solid Gold. Who knew they needed a writer for Solid Gold? Wasn't it just like...
Well, they need something for Denny Terrio to say.
Okay, in between dancing?
Yeah.
Who would forget, though, his masterpiece, A Thanksgiving Reunion with the Partridge Family and My 3 Sons?
A little crossover here.
Yeah. Those,
couldn't forget it.
Yeah, I immediately forgot it. But you definitely cannot forget his role in the highly acclaimed ABC After School special, Backwards, The Riddle of Dyslexia.
What is the riddle of dyslexia?
Well, I'll tell you. He played the father of River and Joaquin Phoenix.
Huh.
Both in this show together. River Phoenix played a student who discovers he has dyslexia. And then 2 years later, in real life, River discovered that he had dyslexia the whole time.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, or his method.
Maybe method. Yeah, that makes sense.
It was called
leaning into it.
Backwards.
It was called Backwards.
Dyslexia.
Yeah. The director was like, River, you're so good at doing the letters like that. How did you? Yeah, so remember, this was like in the 80s. These were Gen X kids, so remember that the treatment for dyslexia was to stop slacking off.
Go for a run.
All right, so they bring in Wong.
Bring it Wong. He's not wrong. Bring it Wong.
And so Kragan asks him, hey.
Ernesto have anything to do with this murder?
It's possible.
It's possible.
Ooh. Wong is such a tease.
Yes.
Maybe not.
And then Liv says, but he doesn't have a drop of blood on him. And Wong says, I said it was possible. I didn't say he did it.
He did it. Right.
What a genius you are, Wong.
It's like, my work here is done. Now I will leave. And he just, with a tip of the cap.
Yes.
And a tap dance his way out.
And then he says, we need you to go in there, Liv, and question him because you have lady magic.
Ooh. Dr. Wong, he loves to bring his sexual orientation into his work. Have you guys ever noticed that? Well, he'll be like, well, as a gay male, I think he loves to really put it front and center.
As the series went along, he did.
But do
more
people
often,
do that? Do people do that in their job? Do police do that? I feel like they would.
Definitely not police.
But would a forensic psychiatrist do that? I don't know. He seems to like to.
Yeah.
I wonder if how Noah, the forensic odontologist, would work that into a...
Yeah.
As a gay man, I can tell you these teeth are spectacular. They find a video of Jansen with a little boy and a man with some tattoos on his back.
For your viewing disgust. Apparently Jansen wasn't satisfied just victimizing Jose and Ernesto.
Oh, that's great. 2 men and a kid no older than my 10-year-old son.
So naturally, Stabler takes one look at this video and says, "Turn it off!" Man, that's your killer right there.
That is your fucking job.
It's not like you got to go through 12 more hours. The killer is right there. Maybe he'll turn around.
Alexis, This is my pet peeve about this fucking show, okay?
Right.
These are sex police. These are rape police. And the one job they seem unwilling to do over and over and over again is watch the video evidence of any sexual assault. Elliot's always like, turn it off. Or Finn's like, I'm not watching this garbage. And I'm like,
I've seen enough.
It's your job.
You have one job. You have one job, which is to collect evidence in sexual assaults. And there is literally video. Like, what do we always say? People don't believe women. Like, oh, if only there were video. There's fucking video. Watch the video.
Do you want to go in that room and ask the kid about his sutures, or do you want to watch this video? I'd be like, I'll take the video. I'm all on it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dr. Wong would watch the video.
Yeah.
He would. Benson and Stabler go to Jansen's squash club, and they interview Stuart Lynch.
Thanks, Mr. Lynch. We'll be in touch.
No problem, man. It's Dr. Lynch.
That's Dr. Lynch.
Sus.
Hey, Alexis, do you know how you can tell if someone is an acclaimed surgeon?
Tell me, how?
Yeah, don't worry. They'll make sure you know.
Oh, yeah. Just like vegans. Vegans will tell you.
That's it.
You don't need to ask.
Every year, people come with a list of resolutions in an attempt to improve themselves. But without encouragement, many of those resolutions fail. But Rosetta Stone offers more than encouragement. They offer a financial incentive. For a limited time, get 50% off Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership. Just a one-time payment gives you full access to all of its 25 different languages. Sounds a lot easier than losing 10 pounds, right? Visit rosettastone.com now and save 50%.
Yo, next round is about to start. You ready?
Yeah, just shopping for a car in Carvana.
For real?
Yeah, Carvana makes it super convenient to shop whenever, wherever.
For real? That's a ton of car options.
Yep, and these are all within my price range.
For really real? You can afford that?
Yeah, with Carvana. And boom, just like that, I'm getting it delivered in a couple days.
For really, really real? You just bought a car.
For real, and you just lost my turn.
Visit Carvana.com to shop for thousands of vehicles under $20,000.
Now let's look at the second half of this episode. Dr. Lynch has 3 adopted sons and travels often to Central America with the help of Damon's travel agency. There were phone calls among the 3 of them the night of the murder.
Customs says that Jansen traveled to Guatemala 2 years ago, around the time Ernesto was brought here.
That's probably when that videotape was made.
Damon is setting up his friends on sex tours, and they're bringing back human souvenirs.
And pass them around to their friends.
Which means we got to try to get Lynch's kids out of that house tonight.
Cabot says they can't take Lynch's kids because there's no evidence he raped either them or Ernesto. So Munch goes undercover and books a kiddie sex vacation with Damon. The travel agent says that Lynch demanded his money back when the kids escaped, but his souvenir rape video is about to arrive from Guatemala any minute now. The squad arrests him just before he can get to the good parts. Lynch says that he'll flip to give testimony against all the other pedophiles using Damon's travel service to fake adopt children. And they've all been seeing the same dentist, Walt Macy. Benson and Stabler learn that he is a superstar stepdad to 2 boys, but he loves one of them just a little more than the other. While questioning Macy, Elliot discovers his incriminating tattoos from the video. The dentist admits to killing Jansen for beating up those little angels because you gotta treat them right. Okay, so Benson and Stabler meet up with Cabot to talk about the case, and she's in a fancy restaurant, and they discover that she's on a date with Heidi defense attorney Trevor Langdon, a.k.a. Mr. Mariska Hargitay.
Yeah.
Do you already have a Lynch on failing to report Jose's abuse?
A misdemeanor. With no priors, I'd argue for a fine and no jail time.
I think Alex is dining with the enemy. Can you give us 2 minutes?
Benson doesn't even seem mad that Cabot's out with her husband. Like, she doesn't even seem a little bit mad.
Because it's fiction, Rebecca. She
I
doesn't
didn't know that was her husband.
Yeah, it's her real life husband, Peter Herman.
I follow her on Instagram and I see him and it just didn't click.
That's him. And
I love that.
I think he and Cabot look good together. And whatever happened to that relationship? That's what I want to know. Are we supposed to assume that they've been fucking this whole time?
Well, I'll tell you,
Yes.
when he came to the table, Cabot said, "Can you give me 2 minutes?" And he says, "Yes, but I have to maintain eye contact."
I like
if you want 2 minutes.
I like it when he jumped in with what his defense would be.
Yeah.
And they were like, you guys are all the same.
That's a freebie. There you go.
You lawyers, you disgusting lawyers who care about people's rights. You're all the same.
But you're hot.
Cabot's hot.
Yes.
I think Cabot's a smoke show.
Yeah, she is.
What that red dress?
All the women on the show are.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you have to have a good
Rollins.
body. Yeah, to work in criminal justice in New York City, apparently.
You have to. Yeah.
So to catch Damon in the act, they set up this sting operation, and Munch goes undercover wearing contact lenses, a tan suit, and a blue tie. If ever anyone didn't need a costume change to pose as a creepy international child smuggler, it's probably Munch.
That's right.
It's a standard 2-week package. You fly business class, stay in a business hotel, meals and entertainment included for $5,000.
And the entertainment?
Do you prefer girls or boys? Or both?
Boys, 11 to 13.
I'll just take off my glasses.
My parents met him at a party in the 80s.
Uh-huh.
And every time it comes on, and they're like, we met him and he was weird. And I was like, weird good or weird bad? Like, they're like 80s party weird. I'm like, okay. They didn't elaborate.
We just cannot say good things about dead people on this episode, I guess.
I guess.
Oh, I forgot he passed away. I'm sorry.
Wasn't he like, he was well liked, right?
Oh, I'm sure he was
Mr.
great.
Bowser.
But you know, everyone's weird at a late night party in the 80s.
Sure. But he for sure has like pedophile face in this
story,
episode.
like what people were doing no one was filming anything. You could get away with whatever. I'm sure everyone was weird at these parties.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But your parents were there. Did you ever like ask them about, well, what were you doing there, Mom?
I know they've admitted to their weirdness. They're weird.
They own it. All right. That's great.
They partied.
Yeah.
They partied.
Yep.
Good on them. So I guess the way that you check to see if someone is a legit pedophile is to run their credit?
Yes. And check their ID.
Well, your personal and credit information checked out okay.
You ran my credit?
We make sure you are who you say you are, for both of our protection. Which is why I also need to see some ID.
I understand completely.
Oh, it's you.
Right.
It's you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are the NAMBLA list. It's cool.
But that's what the guy checks, not whether or not maybe this guy's a cop. Just could he pay?
Yes.
You
and
know?
then he's like, we should make sure you are who you say you are. You're the guy whose credit I ran.
Yeah. It's like, wow. Equifax 820. Very kinky, sir.
Real good. Real good. Yeah.
By the way, those credit scores, remember, those numbers are affected by the date of your oldest account. So if it's really young.
Oh, okay. All right.
Maybe that's where the whole pedophile thing.
Oh,
Alexis
gosh.
got that. It took you a minute, Rebecca.
Yeah.
That's a really weird scene.
Yeah, it is a really weird scene and a very funny scene.
The contacts. Why does the contacts are gonna make him incognito? I don't really he's pretty distinctive looking.
Yeah, and no one knows who he is, so why did he not wear his glasses?
Just look like yourself. Yeah.
So they think that they can nail Stewart because he's been waiting for a videotape of his escapades to be mailed from Guatemala. Why would it take weeks to get a video? You just take it out of the camera and you go home.
I think it was like a glamour shot service that he visited in Guatemala. Like, what having editing, like, okay.
Color correction.
Yeah, we're going to send it to post. We have plans. Like, why? Like, what were they going to do with this video that wasn't like, it was going to make it more disgusting? Like,
Alexis, somebody has to put those black bars over their eyes, right?
Yeah. Somebody does that. That's somebody's job.
He's got to move around.
Not Stabler's, because he won't even watch it. But
So I don't think the kid looked young enough. So I'm going to do a little CGI.
It's like, oh my God, he looks just like Diego. Yum, 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 delicioso.
Oh my God.
Backpack. All right. So they knock on Stewart's door, right? And the three boys just walk out and they open the front door for him. So Jansen has his kids locked down like Slimer in the Ghostbusters vault, and Stewart's kids are just like answering DoorDash.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, hey, kids, Dad's got some whack-it time now, so just take care of the house.
Well, he's delusional and he believes his kids are willing participants, remember?
All the name-up peeps think it's natural.
Yeah.
That this is like a nurturing, symbiotic
Yeah. Except that they
situation.
make them keep secret. Keep it
Yeah.
secret so they know it's not fucking right.
You know what the kids call it when another video comes in from Guatemala?
What?
A night off.
Oh, Kevin.
Just saying. Like, why does he need 3?
Yeah.
Is he collecting a set?
He's greedy.
Yeah.
The audacity. That's
Yeah.
why. The audacity. And this is, I'm not saying all men, but most men have audacity. And like someone with doctor in their name, they have audacity.
You did do the disclaimer at the beginning of the episode,
right.
which
Remember,
is the only
these are
reason
fictional-
I'm making this observation.
Fictional kids. Their parents drove them to the set.
Correct.
They got paid scale. They
Correct.
ate from craft services and they
this
went
is
home.
dialogue that a writer wrote
Yeah.
for a fake victim of a pedophile. Okay?
Right.
He said I could never tell anyone, that they wouldn't understand.
Sean, look at me. I do understand. And there's no need to be afraid.
That kid broke so fucking quickly. Like, he was like, I'm not supposed to say anything. It's a secret. And then the next fucking thing out of his mouth was exactly what it was his stepdad was doing to him. Like, what kind of secret keeper is this kid, man? Not good. Not a good one.
The brainwashing was weak.
It was.
Weak brainwashing for someone
It
as
was.
smart as a doctor.
Exactly. What
Yeah.
was his dentist up to? He was not very good at this whole hypnosis situation.
Yeah, it's like, I'm telling you to keep this secret from one person in particular, and it's a cop. So if you're going to bend on anyone, you know, if it's got to be a teacher. These
Kids are weak, man. They're weak.
Weak kids.
Weak.
Weak, fake kids. Not blaming it on the kids, blaming it on the writers.
It's the writers. The kids were strong. If the kids were real, they, of course, would be very strong. But these fake kids.
A lot of tenacity, the real kids.
Weak. Weak secret keepers. Weak.
Flimsy.
Don't trust them.
Don't trust those kids.
They can't don't have a surprise party. Nothing. Don't trust them.
No loyalty.
Daddy's back there with his new tape. I got to say, he couldn't have been that far into it because his belt was still buckled, right?
Yeah. They hadn't gotten to the good part yet.
Hadn't gotten to the good
He
part.
was doing some foreplay. It was foreplay time.
That's right.
He was like going, I guess he was sitting through all the credits that they had to add in the beginning.
From the post
That's
work
right.
that was done.
That's right.
And his big opening montage.
The Will Arnett Travel Agency presents
Dun, da, da, da.
Your Trip to Guatemala, a production of the Will Arnett Travel Agency.
It just keeps going on. And
That's right.
it lists the grip and the best boy and the best boy's grip. I mean, it just keeps going on.
Yes,
on.
and those things have different meanings in this particular film.
They do.
They do.
Like a credit score. They eventually question the dentist, Walt Macy. So Stabler and Benson arrange a bit of theater.
Look, Elliot, we gotta move on this.
Look, I told you I'm not wasting my time with that crap. You handle it.
You have it your way.
Have it my way. I got this case. I got a 14-year-old girl who's dating this 22-year-old guy. Completely consensual sex. And they want to lock this poor guy up for statutory rape.
They have this argument to get Macy on his side, or as Stabler likes to call it, good cop, woman cop.
Yep.
That's what Stabler calls it every day. It is not. It's not theater for him.
He calls that Thursday and Friday and Monday. Yeah, exactly. So he's questioning Macy, and he grabs his arm and rolls up his sleeve and says, "What about this tattoo?" Well, if you watch the fucking video, you would know what that tattoo was.
That's right. You had one job.
One job.
One job. Watch the fucking video. It's evidence of a sex crime. And that's your job.
And then the whole episode ends on a weird note.
In the middle of a scene.
Right in the middle of the scene, he turns and he just asks the suspect, "What kind of a monster are you?" Again, if you watch the video, you would know exactly what kind of monster he is. Yeah.
And scene.
And scene.
Yeah, that was an odd ending. A little abrupt.
There was no order.
There was no
There was no order in this episode of
No.
Law and Order. We had no Barba. We had no Cabot. We had no Justice.
Justice was fleeting, absolutely.
It was a mid-scene ending. This episode is so weird, pacing-wise. It's so weird. It's just like a bunch of kid actors putting together their like audition tapes for Annie or whatever. It's a very strange episode.
A lot of male energy. A lot of men in this episode.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, does anybody
Usually I like some feminine energy in there.
Yep.
So does anybody have anything else from the episode they wanted to bring up? Alexis, did you have any additional thoughts?
I mean, I did think it was convenient that they barged in on him about to watch it. Like, I think the timing was pretty serendipitous.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, you can always count on Stabler to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, because 3 minutes later, and it's a completely different scene.
Right.
That's right. I always love it when they round up.
Because this guy's got to start locking doors, right? Whether it's the front door or to his masturbatorium, he really needs to, like, lock a door.
Masturbatorium?
Those kids are trained, man.
They're trained pretty well.
Not to keep a secret, but they are trained. I always love when they round up a bunch of pedos and put them in a cell together.
Good pedo roundup.
It's one of those, like, let's round them all up.
Yep.
I was like, they're just like recycling shit in this show. I was like, this is so familiar.
Only so many ways to skin a kid.
Yeah.
You've probably heard that when you're traveling to a different country, the locals truly appreciate it when you at least try to speak their language. With Rosetta Stone, you can do even better by becoming proficient in any of 25 different languages. For a limited time, Rosetta Stone gives you access to all 25 at once by offering a lifetime membership for 50% off. That's not annually. That's a one-time payment. So visit rosettastone.com now and save 50%.
Shall I take your order, or do you need a minute?
Yes, I'll be ready. Just buying a car on Carvana.
What?
It's super convenient. I already got pre-qualified in 2 minutes. All I had to do was answer a few questions.
What? That's handy.
Yeah, now I'm customizing my down and monthly payments.
What? That's an exquisite deal.
And just like that, Carvana's delivering my car in a couple days.
What?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'll have the burrito.
Visit Carvana.com to finance your next car.
Financing subject to credit approval. Delivery fees may apply.
All right, let's take a look at the real-life story that inspired this episode. It's time for Rip from the Headlines.
You think you know who did it. You think you know who did it. But you don't know who did it. You don't know who did it. Rip from the Headlines.
Inspiration for this story comes from the 1999 case of Marvin Hirsch. A mathematics professor at a Florida university, Hirsch traveled to a poor village in the Dominican Republic in the mid-80s. There, he had sex with 2 boys in exchange for food. Over the next decade, Hirsch made trips to Mexico, Thailand, and Honduras, seeking impoverished children to molest. During one trip to Honduras, Hirsch traded food for sex with a hungry 17-year-old boy who lived in a thatched hut. Hirsch teamed up with another man and made repeated trips to Central America to have sex with the boy and his 2 little brothers. Hirsch arranged to bring the youngest boy to the US, telling people the 10-year-old was his illegitimate son by a Honduran woman. Florida officials became suspicious and searched Hirsch's house. They found a large stash of child pornography and hand-drawn maps to poverty-stricken villages in third world countries. Hirsch was the first person convicted in the US of a law banning travel abroad for the purpose of child sex and receiving a sentence of 105 years. He died in a federal prison in March 2022 at the age of 82.
What the fuck does Cy Frater think he's like working on when he gets this copy to read for this stupid podcast?
Cy Frater is dead inside. He just...
It's so funny.
I feel so bad for him. Week after week, I'm like, poor Cy. He's got to read this depraved shit. This week, he's like, someone's exchanging food for molestation. He's just this British guy living in Europe. What the I'm sorry, Cy. I am sorry.
Feel sorry for Alexis's parents. They're going to have to let's check this out. We love SVU.
Oh, I'll be sending this to them for sure.
Yeah, they made a cameo. Their 80s cameo.
They'll love it.
All right, let's talk about sex tourism.
Oh, okay.
Both adults and child sex tourism. Sex tourism in Thailand is a $6 billion business.
Jesus.
It's legal and promoted in Amsterdam, Throughout the Caribbean, they estimate there's at least 10,000 women doing sex work that caters just to tourists. And the question is, so how do you stop people from leaving the country to travel to parts of the world where they can pay for any kind of sex and things that they can't legally do here?
I think it's the responsibility of the location. Thailand should do more, but I know that's a really privileged perspective. I'm sure they try to enforce that, but
Thailand's interesting because when American servicemen first started going there and paying for sex, it all of a sudden became one of its biggest industries. So even though it's not strictly legal, like I said, it's worth $6 billion. And so, Amsterdam, for example, has recently they've started a ad campaign in the UK encouraging British tourists to stop coming. Because they show up and get completely drunk and, sloppy, not keeping it tight, and
embarrass themselves.
And they become a nuisance.
Yeah.
But the idea that I will travel to X place to have sex, or I'm just going to go and I'm going to see the waterfalls and everything, and while I'm there, I'm going to stop at the local.
I'm going to exploit somebody.
I'm going to exploit. Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
that is far more common than we think.
I know.
I think I knew it was common.
Yeah.
I mean, it's common in
too.
the U.S. People, men go on their little golf trips and
right.
Of course they're doing it there.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah.
But Thailand, I think, is the worst for the underage.
Yeah. Now that's definitely a different kind of issue. We're not talking about empowered sex workers, and we're talking about childhood sex slavery.
Yeah.
Even after Hirsch was arrested and police searched his house, he continued to download child pornography. And I'm guessing that's because the police took all of his.
Oh, my God.
The audacity, man. I can't. The hubris is mind-blowing.
Yeah, he was not remorseful at his sentencing. He said that his conscience would not allow him to accept a 10-year plea. So instead, he went to trial and got 105 years.
Good.
Why do child molesters think that juries will find them charming and sympathetic?
Narcissism, delusion, arrogance, audacity, all those things.
Yeah.
Think you can outsmart anyone.
I also think that for real pedophiles believe, just like for real racists believe, that everybody has this feeling inside of them and just hasn't admitted it.
Tapped into it yet.
And
they can make them see.
Yeah, they believe. Come on, you feel the same way. I'm just doing it. It's natural. You know that.
That sounds like the Stabler good cop, woman cop.
You know for sure that this is something that you want too. Come on, you know it is. The law says you can't, and that's arbitrary. Just like it's arbitrary that you have to wait till you're 18 to vote. It's just like that. They think that way. They honestly do think
they're
that
constructs. They're just constructs.
Yes.
Social constructs.
Because they're disgusting. That's how they think. And I think that they believe that they can, that the other people will be like, you know what? Yeah, it's right.
He's right.
Yeah, it's totally right. and when I get in secret with 11 other people, we're all just going to be like, totally. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Hirsch brought these kids to the U.S. and said that they were his children. Can I point out that Congressman Matt Gaetz says he has a teenage adopted Cuban immigrant son named Nestor who has his own real-life fucking dad, and he hasn't actually adopted him, and that's not even in the top 5 craziest things about Matt Gaetz.
Nope. It's really not.
I'm not surprised. As soon as you said his name, I was like, oh, here we go. Of course. Of course.
We're not implying anything about Matt Gaetz. It's just a very fucking strange detail about Matt Gaetz.
Very strange.
It's I guess you just say anybody's your adopted kid.
I would just say don't do that because it's not a good look considering what that has meant when other people have done it.
Yeah. By the way, 100%. Nestor is the brother of an ex-girlfriend. Their mother died. Since that, he moved in, and so he's in his late teens. And Gaetz still says I'm his father, and it's really weird. So Mr. Hirsch was a 60-year-old math professor So, Rebecca, how many times does 60 go into 15?
Oh, stop it!
What?
Stop it!
Ow, stop hitting me!
Stop it!
That's going to do it for us.
Oh,
we want to
God.
thank our guest, Alexis
It's
Linkletter.
Kevin P. Flynn.
Alexis, where can our listeners follow you online?
At Alexis Linkletter on Instagram. You know, that's kind of my main jam. I don't mess with X.
And Rebecca Lavoie.
You can find me everywhere, including Instagram at Reb Lavoie, but it's at Kevin P. Flynn for that last one.
Yeah, that's at Twitter, and you can tweet to us at Law & Order Pod or follow us on Instagram at These Are Their Stories Podcast, or like and subscribe on YouTube and TikTok. Our newsreader was the Dead Inside Sci-Freighter. Our theme music was composed and performed by Uncanny Valleys. Content assistance from Travis Roy. Lily Flynn handles promotions. All clips in this podcast were used in compliance with the U.S. Copyrights Act fair use exemption for criticism and commentary. Go to lawandorderpodcast.com and sign up for our newsletter for a chance to be our next Law & Order Marathon winner. These Are Their Stories was recorded in the Treehouse Yoga Studio above the Mockingbird Cafe in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi studio, and is a production of Partners in Crime Media.
Partners in Crime Media.
Shall I take your order, or do you need a minute?
Yes, I'll be ready. Just buying a car on Carvana.
What?
It's super convenient. I already got pre-qualified in 2 minutes. All I had to do was answer a few questions.
What? That's handy.
Yeah, now I'm customizing my down and monthly payments.
What? That's an exquisite deal.
And just like that, Carvana's delivering my car in a couple days.
What?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'll have the burrito.
Visit Carvana.com to finance your next car.
Financing subject to credit approval. Delivery fees may apply.